guys, my name is Alexa, and most of you know me as the Glam Fairy, and I thought that so many of you have read about me and seen me on Project Wedding and all different things, and that this would be a nice venue for some of you to learn a little bit about me. You know, so many times you look for a person online, you start to research something, but you kind of wonder what that person's like and what you're getting yourself into. So I thought that this would be a wonderful outlet for me to introduce myself to you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. This is my first webisode, so I'm very excited. I actually grew up in a super artistic environment. My mom is a world famous painter. Her name is Betsy Brown. And she is the main reason why I'm so super artistic and have a kind of eccentric flair when it comes to approaching my clients. My mom, I always grew up around painting, so I was constantly watching my mother paint, and I watched her as an artist transform from when I was a kid to, you know, now I'm 27 years old, and I've seen her paintings transform. And as a kid, you know, they were more simplistic. They were still beautiful, but as she developed as an artist, there was a transition in her paintings, and there was an inspiration and there was an understanding of light. And that's what I feel is one of my best qualities as an artist. I have a great understanding of light. My mom used to research a lot the Hudson River Painter Group, and what they were was a group of male artists who would watch the way light reflected off of water. And by researching it and all those other things, my mother developed a very strong understanding of the way light bounces, absorbs, and deflects. And that methodology can follow through for a painter like my mother, or even a makeup artist, because my canvases are the same. The only difference is that they're three-dimensional. So I wanted to show you some of my mom's stuff, which I thought would be cool. Okay, so this is a painting that my mother did of my father in New Orleans playing at a jazz club. So she took all different things that inspired her, you know, her love of music, her love of my father, which is really cool, and she just put all those elements in there. And also in the painting is Carmen Leggio, who works very closely with my father and is a world famous saxophone player. So here is the painting. Some of the reasons why I love this painting is it just has such a nice warmth to it. But my most favorite part of the painting is how there is so much luminosity in it, and there is so much light, and there's nothing behind it that's lighting it up. And using that as kind of a springboard for what I want to say is having an understanding of light truly helps you as an artist, and having this kind of work being molded in front of you your entire life, and seeing paintings go through an actual transition where, you know, in the beginning when I was a baby, my mom's paintings were beautiful, but they didn't have that pop factor. And watching as I grew older, these paintings have more and more and more light, I really began to understand the importance of it. So that's one of my trademark things, is my understanding of light. A little bit about my father. My father is a world famous jazz musician. My dad is another huge inspiration in my life, and he just kind of gave me the approach of being me and understanding that as an artist, you know, there's gonna be people that love you, and there are gonna be people that think you're freaking crazy, and there are gonna be people that hate you. But the bottom line is you are who you are, and your artistry speaks for itself. I grew up having my father teach these guitar lessons and knowing that my father was playing at all these notorious jazz clubs across Manhattan, and, you know, as the computer age coming out, being able to hit Google and seeing my father all over the place. It's a very interesting thing to see. But what I always noticed was that my father spoke to his students in a way that you have to explain things to people sometimes to get them to understand things. And and watching that, I just have a different approach with my clients, because in my opinion, sometimes, you know, people are so used to seeing themselves a certain way that they don't understand the potential of their face, and you have to explain it to them, you know, because I don't want to sell my services to somebody who is selling themselves short in terms of what they want. And that's why sometimes with my clients, I'm so firm about how they should really understand their own potential of their canvas, which is their face. So yeah, my father is a total spitfire, and I grew up understanding that practice is absolutely integral in becoming who you are. My father would play from the time I woke up. I would hear classical, which would transition into jazz. I'd hear jam sessions at night. And seeing that driving force, walking through your living room and seeing your father playing jazz guitar nonstop and classical, and hearing these pieces and going them over and over and over until they're absolutely perfect, and then continuing to play, irregardless of if he was being paid or not, just bring himself to the saturation of his potential as an artist, made me understand what I need to do to be an artist. And then, you know, kind of walking through the living room and going into the back room and seeing my mother go through draft after draft after draft of a painting created an environment for me that made me understand kind of that being an artist is, you know, a blessing and a burden at the same time, because you are obsessed with it and you love it, but it tortures you because you're constantly thinking about it. And I'm constantly thinking of, you know, ways that I can build my website, or a different look I can do, or, you know, looking through magazines and seeing what all the new trends are for the season, and how I can incorporate that and fuse that in it with my own kind of signature flair. So there is a lot that goes into my artistry, and it's all of the inspiration from my parents and the environment that I grew up in.